We are out of cards, though. Notably, folks, that's terrifying. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's nonsense is actually an historic brawl. It's been a minute since we visited the format, but I figured, what the heck? Let's give you a little bit of historic brawl, because there is the new alchemy set that came out that affects historic brawl, and, you know, they gave us some really sweet cards here. The first one we're going to be toying around with is Lulu Forgetful Hollyphant. That's right, folks. It's an elephant angel. When you select one of these specialized creatures as a commander, it's made to mimic the background mechanic in Paper. So it gives you the opportunity to specialize, but you have to choose which color you're going to specialize into. This is not a 5-color commander, even though it theoretically could specialize in these other things. You have to choose one. So obviously, I know this is going to shock everybody, but I chose Boros, in the context of the deck there, as the extra color. So Lulu, in this case, is a 3-mana, 1/3 flying. When Lulu enters the battlefield, you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell without flying, it perpetually gains flying. Okay. It can then specialize into 4-mana, 2/4 flying. Whenever you attack with one or more other creatures with flying, you gain twice that much life. So nice. A nice little, you know, way to stay in the game, gain a little life, and everything. But the primary reason we have built this deck around Lulu is 4-mana, 2/4 flying. Whenever you attack with one or more other creatures with flying, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So we are trying to build tapped and attacking tribal here, more or less. We have a little Haazda Marshal for, you know, when it attacks, you create a dude. We have Skyknight Vanguard for when it attacks, you know, create a dude. Kari Zev obviously creates a dude, though this one's admittedly temporary. Then, you know, we have a whole host of other folks too. Things like Adeline and then Krenko and things like that. Admittedly, Krenko does not specifically create dudes, but then we have Sigiled Sword, which when it attacks, the other that's attacking as well. I mean, this they're not attacking. It creates dudes, but they're not attacking. And then we're trying to be generally aggressive. This is not a super aggro deck by any means. We have a lot of fun stuff going on here with things like Intangible Virtue, and Wedding Announcement for the Anthem side, and the Glorious Anthem, and things like that. But, you know, we're just looking to have a good time, honestly. I know Brawl tends to be a little bit of a very slow format, but also board sweepers are everywhere. So if anything, I think this is just a fun, fair little strategy to punish some of those counterspell all day style decks. So let's see if we can do some of that, shall we? All right, folks, here we are up against Trogdor Burninator. Good luck, Trogdor. And yeah, I think we can keep this. I do believe they are burninating the countryside. Not good news for the rest of us here who want to live on that countryside, you know. But alas, it's okay. We're gonna try and get a little bit aggressive here, though admittedly the Radahard of Keld is also quite aggressive, so can't, you know, I'm not sure we match up super well. Typically, the best way to handle more, you know, relatively aggressive strategies is just block, right? And, you know, our opponent appears to be able to do that thing because red-green traditionally blocks quite well. Guardian Evangel, going to discard a Guardian Evangel, tap down their mountain. Opponent does go with a forest and passes. Well, let's go ahead and attack, get in for 5, and just deploy the Lulu here. That will allow us to give our Leonin Warleader flying, which is definitely pretty good. You know, the 4/4 flying is typically a pretty good place to be. Yeah. It perpetually gains flying. Hooray! We'll trade if they want. I seriously doubt they want. That is probably a bad idea for them. But I also don't see it being a good idea. Suicide or Rush for the Fallen, you know. We may end up Fateful Absence, Relentless Raptor this turn. We'll see. But, you know, it really depends on what else they deploy. No! Well, we're definitely going to do that this turn because that was mean. We just wanted to win the video game, opponent. That's all we wanted. And here they are being mean and stopping us from winning the video game. You know? What the heck? It's almost like they also wanted to win the video game. Surely they understand that we're the ones that are supposed to win. You know? Oh, well. Oh, well. I suppose we'll forgive them for now. And just crash in for 6. Opponent going to crack the clue. Draw another card. See what happens. And a forest joins the party. Opponent thinking about all their options. Facing lethal here. They do have to do something. What they don't know is that we also have the Lightning Helix. So they, you know, if either of these connect, you know, just one blocker isn't going to be good enough, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Because one of the them blocking one of the 3/3s is just not enough, right? Yes. All right, well. Get in there. And Lightning Helix. Good game, Trogdor Burninator. Good game. All right, folks, here we are up against E4K9, and oh crud, this is terrifying. Our opponent appears to be playing Tasha Unholy Heartmage, which is a direct counter to our strategy, I think. So we are definitely not thrilled about that. Going to plan on Spikefield Hazard tapped on turn 1, and pray that we don't just lose the video game, you know? I guess Castle Ardenvale tapped. Opponent has Cabal, Stronghold, and Mentor's Guidance. Alright, just does a little scrying, little drawing. Goes bottom with the scry. Ay, ay, ay. Folks, we really do need a... Yeah, we really do need a land here, and we are quite concerned about it. We decide to go with the Lulu because it can be very nice in granting haste to other things. We're also pretty convinced our opponent's going to have removal. And the Hollyphant, as a former war mount, very used to the perils of combat. Hey. Don't mind if I do. Alright, how about a Zariel, Archduke of Avernus? And make a dude. No attacks. Just hang on for now. Opponent can level up the Concealing Curtain should they elect to. And get a look at our hand. Yep. They decide that that is a good idea. They get a Glory Bringer, give us another card. It ends up being a land. And... no blocks. You got it? Hey, okay. Oh, darn it, but we don't have the extra white mana. Arrgh. That is really unfortunate, folks. So I guess... Bolthound... and Zariel make a dude. Put counters on the team, and I think we're only going to attack with the Bolthound. We do want to save the Zariel. It's very, very good against Tasha. Yep. Right. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to pump everybody. Unleash your ferocity. Seven. Alright, if they have a removal spell, we're kind of bummed, but is what it is. Get rid of that Tasha there. Hey, they didn't. Feels good, man. Alright, so let's... Yeah, let's just deploy the Usher. Unfortunately, we can't really do more. I really don't want to deploy the Devilish Valet right now because it's pretty... You know, it will be pretty vulnerable, and it is a good way of finishing games. Lulth! Spider Queen shows up, makes menacing creatures. Unfortunately, they're also reaching creatures, and for some reason, we are vigorously struggling for land drops. Alright, Devilish Valet. Specialize the Hollyphant. Okay. Make a dude. And... you know what? Let's just go like that. Yeah. I think this is fine. We're not particularly thrilled about it, but it is what it is. Opponent does drop to 7. We're primarily worried that our opponent's just going to be able to sweep the board, and then we die. But currently, with Burn Down the House, we've got options, right? Admittedly, they're going to use... No! Darn it, that's very bad. Because now they're going to kill our Zariel. Dropping to 6, though, is good. So, you know, we're not strictly dead. They can't do everything. Well, they get to do most of the things, I guess, but... Alright. Lulu comes back to the hand. Darn it. I think this is still okay, though. So let's... Mountain. Haste everybody up. Just attack with everybody. And sure enough, E4K9 is being defeated here. Good heavens. I was really, really worried for a hot minute there, but we were able to bring it home. Feels good, man. All right, folks. Here we are up against Solar. Good luck, Solar. And yeah, I guess we're going to keep it. I don't know that we're particularly thrilled about this, but it's also fine. We are going to start on the Snarl, and yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal. This is going to be our turn 2 land anyway, but, you know, we could have potentially wanted to Lightning Bolt there. Turns out we didn't, so it didn't really matter. None of it mattered, but just glad that the Snarl wasn't a tap land for a change. They tend to be tap lands pretty regularly, you know? Okay, well, if this is the way of the world, we're going to go ahead and deploy a Lulu here. It is a little less aggressive than something like Legion Warboss, but it also gives us something if our opponent is holding up removal, which it appears they kind of are. Yep. So Heartless Act kills our Lulu, which is a bummer, but now the next thing we cast that has flying, or I mean that doesn't have flying, gains flying. So our Leonin Warleader specifically can gain flying if that winds up being what we cast next. We kind of expect it to be. Hey, that's a good one. That's a real good one, particularly if Leonin Warleader does survive. If it doesn't, it's a little less good, but this gets out of control with Leonin Warleader. Oh my goodness, Assassin's Trophy. Alright, well, fine. Get ourselves a land. Hold up Lightning Bolt. Alright. And opponent plays their Agnes. And we're going to bolt it. Tit for tat there, opponent. Tit for tat. They wanting to be a little bit mean to us, you know, and kill all of our stuff. Well, you gotta know, we have the capacity to kill some of your stuff too, darn it. So, Devilish Valet, Legion Warboss. Legion Warboss created Dude. Devilish Valet and the Dude get in. Opponent drops to 20. And we're going to pass that turn. Next turn with the Rabble Rousing, we could really make some dudes here in a hurry. So we'll see. Admittedly, our opponent's got 5 cards. We've only got just the 2. We do have a relatively robust board presence, though. That part is nice. Well, this part, less good. We really, really wanted a spell there. Did not get it. So, Rabble Rousing. Hideaway. Oh, my goodness. These are very, very good. These are very, very good. Would really, really like the Adeline, honestly, but I think we've got to go with Valorous Stance. So let's just get in. Mentor onto a dude. Yep. And, opponent? Elects to, take the damage. GG, I guess. GG. Alright, folks, here we are up against Lundargent. Good luck, Lundargent. And yeah, I think we can keep this. I wouldn't say it's like an amazing hand or anything, but it's fine. The Moth Rider Cavalry coming down a little bit late here. Of course, this traditionally is much better with like tokens and things. And we do have a lot of conventional creatures. We're just going to go ahead and deploy a Relentless Raptor. Definitely the sort of creature you want to get down in the early game. Okay. Well, Luminarch Aspirant is also a really good one here. I wonder if we're just supposed to deploy that. Start getting counters on the Relentless Raptor? It's quite possible. I think we're going to do it, actually. And just because this is forced to attack and block each combat if able, right? And the and block is very, very relevant because it does have vigilance, right? So if our opponent ends up with a 5/5, well, we've got to attack into it. Whether that's, you know, on attacks or on blocks or whatever, it doesn't really matter. We've got to, you know, we have to deal with the things. So, not strictly ideal given the context of the situation, but fine. Moth Rider Cavalry join the party. And just the Relentless Raptor get in. Opponent is chump blocked. Kind of surprised by that. Connor gonna go over here onto the Moth Rider Cavalry. I guess that means they have a board sweeper this turn. It's the most likely scenario to me. Yeah. Alright. So down to the Bugbear. Makes it to the hand. And Haazda Marshal. Okay. Well, these things are interesting. I guess we're just going to go ahead and deploy our Devilish Valet, one of our most expedient ways of getting the win, and get down a Haazda Marshal as well. Kari's have no haste, unfortunately. It was definitely one of those cards that we considered trying to deploy there. Oh my, that's a good one. But, let's see. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Yeah. Legion Warboss. And Haazda Marshal. This is not lethal, folks, and our opponent very well may have another board sweeper here. But, you know, they dropped to 2. I think this is fine. Next turn, we can at least activate Den of the Bugbear. If all they can do is sweep the board, then we just Den of the Bugbear and get them, you know? Captain Sisse, unlikely to be able to bring home the win here. Mirror Shield does equip. But... Yep. And counters go on. Dudes get created. Devilish Valet does things. You know how it is, folks. You know how it is. Our opponent, of course, just doing the courteous thing, allowing us to get our attack in, you know. Good game, Lune D'Argent. Good game. All right, folks, here we are up against Cernips. Good luck, Cernips. And yeah, I think we'll hang on to this. Not particularly thrilled about our hand, but it doesn't appear as though our opponent's off to are going to be a very, very aggressive deck either. So, you know, we'll just deploy our Legion's Landing, kick the can down the road, see how things develop. All right, well, we do pull a Plains off the top, which means we're going to at least make it as far as Aurelia. That is definitely a good time. There's a case we made, folks, for actually just killing the Undead Butler here, because they get creature cards back. We're presuming that that's in there specifically for Runo. Well, glad we didn't. It definitely paid off this way. Okay, well, Lulu joined the party. Going to perpetually be granting flying, probably to Karizev here is my best guess. Opponent deploys an island, I should say, and a replicating ring. Interesting. Okay. Well, I think we will, you know, we're not gonna screw around here too much. Just grant a wee bit of Vigilance and 2-0 to our dude. We present the trade, which was a really, really juicy trade for our opponent. I'm kind of surprised they didn't take it, honestly, because we're representing flipping Legion's Landing. So it's probably the case they have a board sweeper is my best guess. But they also wouldn't get any value from their Undead Butler, which is why we were willing to make the trade. Is they now have to, you know, if they elected to trade, they would be giving up on the Undead Butler value, which a lot of people, you know, it's not a thing you want to do. You definitely don't want to give up on that value. Oh boy, opponent has a soul transfer. Not thrilled about that. And Waker of Waves gets discarded. Do a little anticipate style action. And the opponent just passes the turn. All right, well, fine. I guess we're going to just go ahead and Rabble Rousing then, I suppose. And we hide away. Oh boy, all these things are good. I don't think we've got them low enough to do the Blade Historian, and we are worried about them just having board sweepers. So we're going to suicide our lifelinking token to make an additional dude. These ones are now untapped, and they block. Tireless Angler. Oh, boy. All right. I love what our opponent's up to over there. I love it. I'm a huge fan of Tireless Angler, for the record. I think we will kill it, because, you know, we're soulless and corrupt that way. But you know, one's got to do what one has to do. We definitely don't want them getting a bunch of fish. Adeline showing up with flying because of the Lulu buff there. Definitely a powerful thing. Really... Oh boy, I was going to say, we're really hoping they don't have a removal spell, and in fact they don't. They just crack the clue with the replicating ring, and oh boy, this is a lot of damage. I think we are going to hang on to the Haazda Marshal, because I think we can win with just what's on board here. I don't really think we want to deploy more into a potential board sweeper or something. Okay, Whelming Wave, sure. Not thrilled about that, but it is what it is. I also would not say we're surprised by that. Opponent not seeing a lot of creatures. The Whelming, or the... interesting. Yeah, let's just, I guess, go this way. The Waker of Waves is very strong. So there's that. Haazda Marshal going to show up as well. Notably, the Whelming Wave, folks, does not get all of our... does not get our Rabble Rousing here. It just does creatures. So that much is quite strong. And then this turn... okay, well, we're not going to overthink it. We are just going to deploy Voracious Great Shark on our Adeline. Brutal. All right, well, we're not thrilled about that by any means. Moth Rider Cavalry. Going to do the thing. Yeah, I think this is fine. Kari Zev, make a dude. It's tapped and attacking. Rabble Rousing. Triggers. Makes more dudes. Opponent going to block the Ragavan and get back just the Waker of Waves, perhaps. It is really nice that the Waker of Waves anticipates. Oh, it's Tireless Angler. Oh, okay. Well, mad respect. Opponent absolutely respecting the fish. You gotta love that. We are out of cards, though. Notably, folks, that's terrifying. Voracious Great Shark, a little bit of a blowout there. But we have a lot on board, and our opponent does not. You know, the 3 flyers here, at the very least, very strong. Oh, okay, well, they do deploy their Runo. Finally shows up, and Waker of Waves goes to the top. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're not going to deploy the Bellows Breath Ogre. Actually, just going to level up there. And we're actually just going to cruise in with the team. Just send it all. All of it. And Outlaw's Merriment going to show up. Opponent with a 1/4 does jump in front of a 2/2 with the Stinging Lionfish. Tireless Angler going to eat a 2/2 as well. Voracious Great Shark going to eat a 2/2. Runo going to jump in front of the Hollyphant. And damage is dealt. Opponent drops to 2. Ragavan goes away. Our opponent now in a little bit of a spot here. Runo flips over into Krothus. Okay. Yeah. All these things happen. This doesn't really get a minute out of it. They are digging heartily for that board sweeper, though admittedly, board sweeper doesn't do a ton either because we get to Adanto post board sweeper and we have the Outlaw's Merriment. So, they're going to need some very, very specific strategies to make this work, and I don't think they found it, is my best guess. Okay, Waker of Waves does shrink our team. Blood Chief's Thirst kills a 1/2. Opponent gets in with everything. Copies the Voracious Great Shark. And we block. Make a dude, and they scoop. All right, good game, Snips. Good game. All right, folks, here we are up against Knight of the Arctic. Good luck, Knight of the Arctic. They are playing Giada Font of Hope. That is absolutely terrifying. We are going to hang on to this, though. And start on a Haazda Marshal past that turn. We are worried indeed about the potential for our opponent to deploy some really, really frightening cards. We'll see if they're on more life-gainy style strategies, or if they're on, you know, just like Angel Tribal. I think both of them are reasonable choices given Giada's power level, but it's you know, you do interact with them differently. Opponent gaining their life back. Oh, thank heavens. Jeez Louise, that was a very, very good draw. We did not want to have to survive with Giada staying on the battlefield from turn 2. That would have been tragic indeed. Opponent goes with Angel of Unity. Well, they definitely appear to be on Angel Tribal variant, probably with life gain synergies. But land? It is a land. Okay. Guess we're going to Lulu then. And no, we're not going to suicide the Haazda Marshal. Opponent on 25 life. Appears to have removal. Maybe it's Skyclave Apparition. They're definitely hovering over our cards, reading them. Hovering again. So definitely kind of leads me to believe that they could have some kind of removal. Opponent goes with Voice of the Blessed. Oh boy, so they definitely have life gain stuff. Fortunately enough for us, we do have the Valorous Stance. We would like a land in the worst way. Okay. Did not get it. Well, I mean, I guess. We are going to Valorous Stance and activate Lulu. Discarding Blade History. No, let's just discard the Hellrider, I guess, because we don't have the second blue anyway, or second red anyway. This way, any land drop we have is good. Maybe it was better to actually Adeline there. See, the problem with Adeline is we don't get to use our mana very efficiently. And we have to let the Voice of the Blessed survive another turn, which is pretty bad, you know? So I'm not sure. Opponent going to slay our Lulu. Oh no, not our Hollyphant. Alright. Well, it happens. Well, we do get... Okay. Command Tower, which taps for any color mana. So I guess we will Adeline with flying. That's definitely a good one. And Boros Elite. Haazda Marshal going to go all by itself, but not forever. A 1/1 will join the party. And opponent drops to 24. Boros Elite, when it attacks the following turn, likely will be attacking as a 3/3, so that's good. And Blade Historian, granting everybody double strike, means that Adeline could be attacking for as much as 7 power, double striking, which is very good. We're just really hoping that our Adeline survives. Our opponent hovering our creatures again, representing the possibility they have more interaction, which would be not ideal. Our board has already been interacted with a great deal, and we don't like that. We prefer to have you leave us alone. Knight of the Arctic, you know, given the choice. Just, you know, let us do our thing. We just want to kill you. You know, I don't feel like we're asking for much here. Opponent, March of Otherworldly Light to get rid of our Adeline. Feeling not great about that. Opponent gets in. No, gets back out. Gets in. Gets back out. No attacks. Okay. Well, then... Okay, let's just Blade Historian here. It's not like these are insanely powerful plays by any means. Our opponent gets to very easily eat our Haazda Marshal. And they're just going to ignore the rest of it. But we do need to get their life total back into a reasonable, or back down to a reasonable level, because of all of the life gain synergies they appear to have. So, you know, for us, we would really prefer if they just went with Giada. Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, we're not thrilled about Giada. Obviously, Giada is a very, very powerful card. But we really... That was the best possible outcome for us because we have the Sacred Fire to just handle it again. And so we can continue being aggressive here. And, you know, we are kind of spewing off 1/1s, unfortunately. But our opponent's taking a lot of damage if they're unwilling to block. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, it seems pretty likely they need to throw away their Speaker of Heavens soon. And they do. They do. All right. We need to stop flooding out, though. That is the other thing that needs to happen. Unfortunately, our Lulu is completely hamstrung by this pacifism. It is ruining everything about our entire life. Just our entire life is ruined right now. Well, yeah, I mean, I think we have to do this. Linvala going to jump in front of the Blade Historian almost, you know, certainly. But I don't feel like we have a lot of choice. Doesn't. Whoa. They're going to try and bleed us out here, I guess. Maybe they have a Lyra next turn? That would make sense. Yeah, if they had Lyra next turn, that would be not ideal at all. Because Lifelink is a heck of a card. Or, I mean, a heck of an ability. Opponent has Legion Angel. Interesting. I mean, they're not going to get another Legion Angel out of the sideboard because that's not the way that works. But just the fact that they've grown it with Angel of Unity so many times is very, very strong. Oh my goodness. Okay, yes! Paladin class. This was huge. Actually doesn't help us to deploy the extra land, so I think we would just as soon just hang on to it here. But now the Blade Historian no longer just gets eaten by the Legion Angel. And sure enough, our opponent going to be forced to scoop them up. This was a little bit of an early scoop here because they are going to kill our Blade Historian. They are forced to kill our Blade Historian. They throw the Legion Angel in front of it, and it trades. But we have the Boros Elite and the Relentless Raptor survive, and you know, of course, they have to block with the Linval as well. So they have 0 board. Presumably, neither of these are creatures, and we're just gonna level up next turn with the Paladin class and grant double strike. So Knight of the Arctic is going to die next turn, almost certainly, unless they came up with Board Sweeper. Which, considering almost everything they showed us was either a spot removal spell or a creature, it seems quite likely that they did not, in fact, have a Board Sweeper. So, GG, Knight of the Arctic, GG. All right, folks, we are back, and boy, oh boy, yeah, those were some sweet, sweet games. I'm not gonna lie. Playing this deck made me feel a little bit bad. This is not a super aggressive deck, but it is definitely on the aggressive side. It is really designed to punish all of the counterspell style stuff that happens all over the place. The problem is, Historic Brawl seems to have some kind of matchmaking system where it matches you against other, you know, commanders of your size or of your perceived power level or something like that. So Golos going to be a tier 1 commander often gets paired against other Goloses and the like. So the problem is, I don't think the client was judging Lulu Forgetful Hollyphant on the same level as Baral Chief of Compliance or something. And as a result, we didn't have a single spell countered in any of the games we played. But we still just went on an absolute rampage, just destroying everything in our path. And some of our opponents were doing some really cool things. Like the Runo is very, very cool. I think Captain Sisay is one of the most fun commanders that you can play with. Admittedly, I know I'm biased because it's Selesnya and I love Selesnya, but I'm just saying, like, we just absolutely disciplined everyone that presented themselves to us. And, you know, so play at your own risk. If you're like, yes, let me, you know, beat up on the little Timmy's trying to have a good time or whatever, you know, then okay, this deck might just be for you because it just absolutely demolished. But for those of you who are like, no, I'd rather just, you know, whatever, find something a little more appropriate power level, then maybe you go a different direction. But honestly, it did play really, really well. I really can't complain. We laid down the law in earnest a whole bunch of different times. So feels good, man. Feels good. That said, I do want to remind everybody I have a Twitch stream. That's where I do the majority of my content. So come on over and visit. We'd love to have you at twitch.tv/JohnLikesGames. And if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and geez Louise, it has been a battle. So big thank you to all you who do, and you folks have a fantastic day.